Good morning. I know it might not be morning when people are watching this, but I just love to say something happy to get us started. So,
You
good
betcha.
morning, good afternoon, good evening. We welcome you to our new show that John and my name's Lori, and we are going to talk about brain power. And this is really unique right now because of the special circumstances that John is going through. So, what we wanted to focus on is brain power breakthroughs and really gear it to teens and their success because we've both had a little bit of experience in that. And I want John to introduce himself so that you can really know the power behind this man and the things that he's doing. And just a little bit about me. My name's Lori Ann Garner, and I have been an entrepreneur for years. My husband and I have owned brick and mortar businesses, entrepreneur businesses. We've owned all different kinds of businesses. But together we have been married 41 years. We have 5 children and 17 grandchildren. So that has been my biggest accomplishment in life, I feel like. So, and I love the outdoors. I love my dog Chester. He might even pop in every once in a while to say hello. But this really is going to be geared towards learning a little bit about how we can support our teens, our tweens, our young people that are going through the challenges that they're going through today. And John has quite an amazing story. I want to introduce him really as our expert. And then we will keep this really casual. We're going to go live every day while we can and glean as much as we can from John and have great conversation. So welcome to our new show. Thanks, John.
Hi, Lori Ann, and thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I definitely look forward to what transpires in our days ahead with this.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is John Anfinson. I've been a coach and a speaker for, I'm just going to say a while because I don't want to get into age. I'm old. I've worked with youth, young adults, teens in the past. I've worked with business owners. I was blessed to be a part of John Maxwell's coaching and speaking team for a while, which gave me a lot of insight on businesses and that kind of thing. But I realized when you work with businesses, you're still working with people. And the majority of my background comes from hotel restaurant management in the corporate world. And if anybody's ever been in hotel restaurant management, you'll realize that the majority of your staff that you work with are young adults. So, and I spent 32 years in that industry.
Wow.
So I've got a lot of experience working with young adults and totally enjoyed it. Loved every minute of it. Gleaning what they were bringing to the table just as much as what I was offering to help them as well. So it was a lot of fun for both of us. I'm honored to be a part of this show with Lori Ann. My wife Amy and I got to meet her and her husband Ray a while back in an event that we both went to, and we just kind of hooked up since, and just to appreciate what each of us have,
Right.
and to offer, to share, and to enjoy. So
Tell us a little bit about what is going on with you, because this year has been a huge year of transformation for you. And when we started talking about brain power, there's a lot going on in your brain right now, but we want to get all of this knowledge out of you too.
Yeah, very true. Very
Right?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, not too long ago, I went through a 2.5 month period of time where every single day during that 2.5 month period, I had a headache that went straight across here and then grew up the backside of my head and went into the dome of my head. And it wasn't that it was a really harsh headache or a bad headache, but the problem was I couldn't get rid of it.
Mm.
No matter what I took medication wise, didn't touch it. So, long story short, ended up going to my primary care doctor. Had an incident at home where I actually fell in my living room.
Mm.
I was trying to walk, couldn't. My left leg would not move. And I tripped over it and fell in the middle of my living room floor. The next morning, went to the doctor. They sent me to the ER. They did an MRI. And the MRI came up with, and I'm not going to get technical about a lot of this stuff.
Good. Yeah.
But generically, what it said, the MRI came up with that I had a very small sized football sized tumor, brain tumor, right here in my head, the right side of my head. They went in the very next morning and did a craniotomy surgery. Had a second craniotomy surgery 4 days later to take out as much of the tumor as they could. What it was called was a glioblastoma. They're not nice.
Yeah.
You know, they're also very aggressive and very fast growing. I've gone through some very heavy duty radiation treatments. And now I'm wearing this thing, which the white back here is my headphones. But this stuff here, this is what is called Optune. It's a device called Optune. And without getting real technical about it, it's a crazy little thing that is powered by a battery pack that's behind my back here. And these are electronic modules that electronically confuse the cancer cells because the tumor was cancerous. But these electronically confuse the cancer cells so they can't talk to each other. And I did not know this until I started hearing about this thing, but that's how cancer cells grow. They talk to each other, they find each other, and they hook onto each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this thing confuses the daylights out of them so they can't talk to each other. We'll see how good it works. I'm hoping it works really well.
It's a work in progress, right?
It is. It is. So in a nutshell, yes, I am fighting brain cancer, but I will tell you this much. I'm kind of like one of those guys that thinks, you know what, you can listen to the science if you want. And in my case, the science says this. But my doctor and surgeon said to my wife, when she asked, where are we at with this thing? He said, well, I can tell you what the science says, but tell you is what he's going to bring to the table. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm bringing a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a lot. So we'll see where this ends up.
Yeah.
I can promise you there are going to be days that you're only going to see Lori Ann because I'm physically incapable of doing certain things on certain days. I'm just too worn out from all of this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do my darndest to be here as often as I can so I can share with you guys and talk with this lovely lady about what it's like raising teens, working with teens, living with teens, and helping teens succeed in this crazy ass world we live in, you know?
This amazing life
Yeah,
ahead of them.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what this
Yeah.
is. That's what this
You
is
know,
all about.
well, yeah, it's the ideas behind giving you tools to succeed.
Right.
And I think Lori Ann and I have some really good tools to help you guys out. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Now everybody knows and what we're up to, what our intentions are. And
Mhm.
let's get into just some of just the really simple things. Like, I love the story of the British cycling team when nobody wanted to sponsor them, nobody even wanted to be known around them or be part of their
Mhm.
group because they had failed for so long. They were almost an embarrassment to their country, to their to the whole cycling community, right?
Mhm.
And one man came in and started coaching them. And he said, we're going to look at just the little 1% changes that we could make for optimal improvement.
Yep.
And that whole story, and you can Google it and look it up. It's
Mhm.
so incredible to me how they became the most recognized cycling team in the world and
Mhm.
world champions.
Yep.
So that's where everybody can be. We can all be
Mhm.
in that category, right? Because there
Yes.
are highs and there are lows in our lives.
Yep.
And we're not always on the high and we're not always on the low. And sometimes, we're just scooting along in
Mhm.
life, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And with teenagers, I think right now there are so many just highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows.
Mhm.
And it's a part of life.
Yep.
So, John, what are some basic, and John and I have not gone over any of this. I called him last week and I said, I think we should do a show together. I know you have got some incredible information in that brain, that there are a lot of amazing things going on in there,
Mhm.
and we need to share them, and we need to do it ASAP. And it's not going to be perfect, but we can get together and we can do this. So that
Absolutely.
that is why I wanted to talk with John and just get some of these little 1% things
Mhm.
that teens have going for them, struggles that they might have in their lives, that we can give them tools that they can switch that around really
Mhm.
quickly
Yep.
just by some breakthroughs, some brain power breakthroughs of
Mhm.
what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So if you were going to give even just 3 little nuggets,
Mhm.
what would some little tweaks that you could give to help teens to be successful?
Well, I will tell you this much. The one that has made the biggest difference for me in my work and my struggles and my life and my movements and all that stuff. The one thing that has changed more than anything for me was when I realized that everything going on in my life is just a moment, just a small moment of time. It's not, oh my gosh, this is the rest of my life. It's going to be like this. It's going to be horrible forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I'm never going to get out of this. How many times have we said that to ourselves? You
Right.
know, when I learned that to look at everything that goes on in my life as just a moment, I realized, you know what? That next moment of time, I can change how I want to look at it, how I want it to become, what I want it to become. And by setting the intention that I want my next moment to be really fun, all of a sudden some fun things show up in my existence. You know, Lorianne's talked about her dog. I have one too. I don't know whether Jagger will show up on the screen or not. He's my moment of fun every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, when I get done with my physical therapy, I'm pretty wiped out. I'll sit back on my sofa and recline back, and immediately my dog Jagger jumps up on my lap and just lays there and gives me this look like, I'm here for you, Dad. What's up? And in that moment, I can be happy, even though I was tired from the work I did with my physical therapy. But in that moment, I can be really happy because Jagger's really kind of a cool dog. He really is. I kind of like him.
Those animals, those animals
Oh,
help
yeah,
so much. They really do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And so, it all goes back to how do I want this moment
right.
to show up in my life? And the
Okay.
key thing there is you have control over how you want it to be.
Right. Okay. So we have look at it in that one moment. So
Yes.
one
Yeah.
moment at a time and realizing it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
And we can create some happiness
Mhm.
just in the simple things, just in the simple
Exactly.
things.
And I think that's one of the keys to this. A lot of times, and I'll say that I did this when I was young too. So I'm guilty of this just as much. I tried to make things so dadgum hard,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be. These moments can be very simple. And the more and more we realize how easy it is to do, the more and more we realize how much we want to do it.
Yeah.
And then the more we realize how much those little moments can add up to become really cool periods of time in our lives.
Yeah, you can see the kids struggling right now, and I've talked to several parents. I do not have children living in my home at this time. All five of my kids are all grown and moved on, and I
Mhm.
have grandchildren that I get to see and be with. But as I've talked to other parents, they've just said, I don't know what to do about like the happiness. Like it's almost like this
Mhm.
happiness just kind of gets sucked out of their kids. And maybe we could talk about that a little bit, helping parents to understand that happiness level. What is it? What are some things like real tangible tools that they could use
Mhm.
to help with the happiness? Setting the intention and recognizing those moments are key. I
Mhm.
mean, nothing slams you in the face faster than when there is a big, huge change in the house
Mhm.
with death or divorce or, sickness,
Mhm.
any of those things, the dynamics change. We do
Mhm.
have our ups and our downs, but what are these little tools that they could use?
Well, I think for one is, um, and I kind of look at this as of an issue that came about from the pandemic. Okay,
Okay.
when the pandemic hit, we all forgot what it was like to call our friends.
Yeah.
And then plus one of the other things I thought of was, when in that, if you're a young adult or a teen or something, you're going in school, maybe in high school or college or whatever. And I thought about this one day. I realized, you know what? And again, I'm going to say how it was for me, if it still does the same thing nowadays. For me, when I was in school, all my social activities and fun stuff was on a calendar at the end of the hallway. I just had to go down there and find out, okay, where do I
When
want to
you
be
show up.
Friday? I just show up. Everything else is taken care of.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic, That's not available anymore.
Oh,
And if you've gotten out of high school or gotten out of college, you don't have that bullet board at the end of the hallway anymore.
right.
You got to figure this all out on your own now. I think one of the things that we can do that we kind of forgot how to is reach out to a friend. You know, call a friend up, walk down the street and visit a friend's house. But interact, communicate. You know, I think a lot of times we look at the people nowadays and we just don't communicate like we used to.
Right. Right. Because
So,
it's easy to send a text and it's easy to, yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. But that in-person interaction, yeah, when
it
the
is,
schools opened back up, it was so great. A lot of
yeah,
um a lot of people had a good time with that. But then there's other kids that were just like, hey, I loved not going to school and being bullied
yeah,
and pushed around and
yeah,
being told what I can do and can't do and had to
mhm,
dress a certain way and had to look a certain way and are happy to not be a part of that program
mhm, yeah,
anymore.
yeah. But you don't have to go to school to interact with your friends. You
Right.
know, you can interact with your neighbor and have just as good a time.
Yeah.
And we will probably be willing to bet your neighbor's not going to bully you either.
Yeah.
So, but just, personal interaction and communication can uplift a human spirit considerably.
Yeah.
And once you uplift your spirit, it's amazing how other things come to you, other resources show up in your existence, and you go, hey, I can do that, or I can do that, or don't know if I can do that, but I'd sure like to try. Looks cool. Okay, try, go for it. So it's the more we can interact and engage and uplift that psyche, if you want to call it that, for lack
Right.
of better terminology,
Right.
uplift that psyche and all of that, the better off your mentality gets, the better off you get.
Yeah. So even what you're going through right now,
Mm-hmm.
how cool would that be if there was a kid in the neighborhood that wanted to come over to your house and just sit with you for
Mm-hmm.
an hour? And
I'd love it.
yeah, like they always say when things are rough or you're feeling so bad, it's because you're thinking about yourself too much, feeling
Exactly.
too sorry for yourself.
Yep.
So in order to get out of that state of mind or that frame of mind, you go visit somebody, just
Mm-hmm.
like you just said, John. I loved
Yeah.
that. Like get out of yourself,
Yep.
and because there might be somebody else that's even worse than where you were, what you were feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
when you interact with them and go, like, even if you showed up at John's house and you said, hey, can I do this for you? Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, could I talk to you about this? I really need some advice on this.
Yeah.
And not only are you going to benefit from it, but I will tell you, John 100% is going to be so much happier that day, that
Oh yeah.
moment, that time,
Yeah.
yeah,
That moment.
right. We're talking about these simple things,
Yeah.
just these simple little things that you can do
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
empower yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
empower other people around you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how well that comes back to you.
Yeah.
If you reach out to someone and bless their lives,
Yeah.
I can honestly say going through this, um, well, I'll tell you right out of the gate here, I'm kind of the chef of the family. 32 years in hotel restaurant management, remember?
Yeah.
I do all the cooking. what I found out when this happened is that I've got quite a few neighbors that are damn good cooks. And when I get back on my feet again, I'm going to go dig up recipes with these people because that was some good food. I want some more of it.
I like it. I want it.
And
I want some
yeah,
more.
exactly. You know, and I've actually talked to one of our friends that brought me some food. And I said, I would love to learn your recipes on this meal, and this meal. And she said, absolutely. You let me know when you're ready. You come over and we will sit down and I will share with you everything, even my little trade secrets.
Yeah, see?
That's the best part.
Those are the keys.
The recipe's good. Don't worry. The recipe will be fine. That little trade secret,
Yeah.
that's going to be a moment of heaven for me.
I
So,
love
yeah.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so some of the things that we've talked about today that are just these little 1% shifts or changes, little nuggets that really can help. We're talking about teens, tweens, young adults, but really this is generally in life. Anybody,
It is.
you know,
It
the
is.
minute you realize either you're sad or you're not going in a direction that you want to go, or you want to go faster, or, you know, just those little teeny 1% shifts that you can make. Help me recap them.
And remember that
Memories, creating memories.
they're
I
only
mean,
a
moments.
moment.
Moments.
They're only a moment. Don't blanket it. Don't feel like that's the way it's going to be forever. No, it's not. It's just a moment in time. And you can shift what you want your next moment to be like. And you have control over that. So,
Okay. I love it. Well, I can't wait for the next episode and what is going to come of that. The main thing that we really want to leave you with today is to empower you with creating those moments, laughing. I think humor is like the best thing. Don't take things so seriously, and serve, do whatever you can to get you out of, you know, whatever situation it is, and serve. Be in that receptive that you can receive help from other people and that you can offer help to other people. Any last words that you want to say for today's episode?
No, I think I'm good. I got a couple other things, but I think I'll bring them up in another
On the
episode when
next
we've got,
one.
yeah, we've got
Okay,
a couple other
there's some
things.
good stuff coming. I can tell.
It's all
Well,
good.
thanks everybody. Thanks for sharing this time with us, and stay tuned. We are going to be coming daily at noon Mountain Time. So I don't know what time that's going to be your time, but we will be here every day. And as soon as we get this posted, be watching for our videos every day. So thanks. Thanks, John. Have a good day.
Thank you, Lorianne. My
Blessings
pleasure.
to you all.
Absolutely.